Welcome. Today I'll be talking about renal function test. It's also called kidney function test. What is renal clearance? So anything generally clearance refers to how quickly a particular substance is removed from the plasma by the kidney or and excreted in urine. That is called clearance. Any substance which is getting rid of or removed from the plasma by the kidney and it's excreted in urine is said to be clearance. So a high clearance means the substance which is quickly removed from the blood. So it can be defined as the volume of blood or plasma that is cleared of that amount of the substance or which contains that amount of the substance which is excreted in the urine by both the kidneys in one net. That is called as clearance. The formula to calculate this clearance is always expressed in ml per minute. It is calculated using the formula U into V divided by capital P. So where capital C is called the renal clearance, that is the glomerular filtration rate of the substance in ml per minute. U refers to the concentration of the substance in urine expressed in milligram per 100 ml. V is the volume of urine in ml excreted per minute, and P refers to the concentration of the substance in plasma expressed in milligrams per 100 ml. Why this clearance is required, or what is the need for the to assess the kidney function test? What is the need for the to do all the assessment test? What's the necessary for doing this assessment test? The answer is this kidney function tests are very important for people who have diabetes, high blood pressure or heart disorders. So it's also required to check whether the kidneys are working properly, to monitor and treat if the person is suffering from kidney disease, and to have a check on the levels of potassium and other minerals in the blood, and to have whether any medications or drugs that might have affected the kidneys. To know all these things, we need to assess our kidneys. So for this assessment of kidney function, this clearance test will be required. This renal function test can be classified into various types. Test based on glomerular filtration rate. It includes inulin clearance test, urea clearance test, endogenous creatine clearance test, and chromium EDTA clearance test. And the second way is to assess renal function test is to measure the renal plasma flow, which includes PAH clearance test, Dietrich clearance test, and filtration fraction test. Third way of classifying this function test is the test based on tubular functions. It includes concentration test, dilution test, PSP excretion test, indigo carmine test, measurement of tubular secretory mass. Fourth includes the other miscellaneous tests. Okay, these are the ways we can classify the renal function test. So first method to assess the kidney function is the test based on glomerular filtration rate. So here the four tests which is under this glomerular filtration rate includes inulin clearance test, urea clearance, creatine clearance, and EDTA clearance test. So in inulin clearance, inulin is a polymer of fructose and it is not metabolized in the body. It is completely and freely filtered at the glomerulus. It is not secreted or not reabsorbed by the tubules. So this clearance of inulin is used to estimate the amount of glomerular filtration rate. So the method what they are using means here Usually a 10 gram of inulin dissolved in 100 ml of normal saline is given intravenously at the rate of 10 ml per minute, and simultaneously we have to measure the plasma inulin level and the quantity of urine excreted is also be taken, and the urine specimen should be collected at 1 hour. Between 2 times we have to collect the urine specimens, and using the formula you can calculate the inulin clearance. That is, clearance formula, as we know, it is the concentration of inulin in urine milligram per 100 ml into U, that is the urine output ml per minute, divided by the amount of inulin present in plasma expressed in milligram per 100 ml. So using that formula U into V divided by P, we can calculate the amount of inulin clearance in ml per minute. So in normal adult, an average inulin clearance will be about 125 ml per minute, which can also range from 100 to 150 ml per minute. This decreased inulin clearance will indicate impaired glomerular filtration. The disadvantage of inulin clearance test is inulin is an exogenous substance and is required to be injected intravenously. So this is the disadvantage of using this test. But many advantages are there, because it gets completely filtered from the plasma through glomerulus. It is neither reabsorbed nor secreted by the renal tubules, and it is not metabolized in the body, and it gets excreted in urine. So whatever inulin, hence the inulin clearance rate will be always equal to glomerular filtration rate. This is the advantage of using this inulin clearance test. The next method to assess the glomerular filtration rate is urea clearance test. It estimates the renal efficiency in excreting NPN, non-protein nitrogenous substances. A low urea clearance indicates renal failure. A blood urea clearance is an expression of the number of ml of blood per plasma which are completely cleared of urine by the kidney per minute. The normal value of urea clearance is about 75 ml per minute. This means that maximum amount of urea is removed in 1 minute by the kidney is equivalent to that of normally it contained in 70 ml of blood. Urea clearance is less than that of inulin clearance test, which indicates that some of the filtered urea is subsequently reabsorbed by the tubules. Urea clearance values are reported to be in percent. So the normal reference range is 75 to 120%. Maximum urea clearance. What is meant by maximum urea clearance? So if the urine volume exceeds 2 ml per minute, the rate of urea excretion is at maximum and is directly proportional to concentration of urea in the blood. So blood urea remains unchanged. The urea is excreted at the same rate whether the urinary output is 4 ml or 8 ml per minute. Hence the urea clearance, that is UV divided by P. That is the formula. Clearance formula is U into V divided by P. So the average normal value of maximum urea clearance will be about 75 ml. Then standard clearance. So when the urinary volume is less than 2 ml per minute, the rate of urea elimination is reduced. So relatively more urea is reabsorbed in the tubules and is proportional to the square root of the urinary volume. So in that case the formula will be C is equal to U into square root of volume divided by P. So urea clearance of 70% or more indicates that the kidneys are excreting satisfactory. Values between 40 to 70% indicates mild impairment. Between 20 to 40% means moderate impairment, and below 20% means severe impairment of renal function. that occurs in chronic nephritis and in nephrotic syndrome. The urea clearance value will be lowered. During this nephritis and in nephrotic syndrome, we will have low urea clearance volume. So here a decreased urea clearance will always indicate renal dysfunction. Although urea clearance was one of the first clearance tests performed in the modern world, this clearance test will be the first test to assess the kidney function test. The third way to assess the glomerular filtration rate is endogenous creatinine clearance test. At normal levels of creatinine, this metabolite will get filtered at the glomerulus but neither secreted nor reabsorbed by the tubules. Hence, its clearance may also be measured to obtain the GFR. This is a convenient clinical method for estimation of GFR because it is a normal metabolite in the body. It does not require any intravenous administration of the test substance. So a measurement of 24-hour excretion of endogenous creatinine will be convenient. An accurate 24-hour urine sample is collected and its total volume should be measured. Simultaneously collect a blood sample and estimate the serum and urinary creatinine concentration and calculate the value using the formula U into V divided by P, where C is the concentration of creatinine, U will be the urine creatinine concentration and P will be the plasma creatinine concentration, V will be the volume of urine in ml per minute. So normal values of creatinine clearance varies from 95 to 105. It can be in the range of 120 to 145 ml per minute. So an increase in serum creatinine level greater than 1.5 milligram per dl and decrease in creatinine clearance indicates impairment of glomerular function. It is observed in the case of acute and chronic glomerulonephritis. It is practically more convenient to determine the clearance of the substance already present in blood than that is injected intravenously like inulin or mannitol, and for this reason endogenous creatinine clearance test is performed over inulin clearance test. So this is the reason why this endogenous creatinine clearance test is best compared to inulin clearance test, because creatinine is a substance which is already present in blood. Hence endogenous creatinine clearance test is a routine method for determining the GFR. This test is useful for an early detection of renal function impairment. The fourth method is to have ethylene diamine tetraacetate labeled with gamma emitter chromium. Okay, so this is a metabolically inert and rapidly eliminated. This chromium is radioisotope metal is metabolically inert and rapidly eliminated by glomerular filtration and neither reabsorbed nor secreted by the tubules. The GFR can be estimated from the renal clearance of intravenously infused CR51 EDTA utilizing the gamma emission of its radioisotope. In adult as well as in children it can be applied. It is particularly convenient in children where it is not easy to collect 24 hours urine sample. So next method to assess the kidney function test is to measure the renal plasma flow. It can be done using PAH clearance test, Dijkstra's clearance test and filtration fraction test. So PAH means para-aminohipurate. PAH is filtered at the glomeruli and secreted by the tubules. At low blood concentration, that is 2 milligram or less than 2 milligram of plasma, PAH gets removed completely during a single circulation of blood through the kidneys. Thus, the amount of PAH in urine becomes a measure of the volume of plasma cleared of PAH in a unit of time. So, in other words, we can say PAH clearance at low blood level measures renal plasma flow. This is about 574 ml per minute for a body surface area 1.73 square meter. So this PAH is a test to measure the renal blood or plasma flow. This PAH should be injected intravenously and is completely filtered by glomeruli and is maximally secreted in tubules, so that the entire pH present in blood is removed by both the kidneys in a single circulation passing through them. So renal plasma flow will be 600 ml per minute, and the normal renal plasma will be ranging between 574 ml to 700 ml per minute. PAH clearance decreases in glomerular dysfunction. Next is diodrast, that is diiodopyridone acetic acid. It is used as a contrast medium to take urinary tract x-rays and is removed completely during a single circulation of blood through both the kidneys. So 85% of total circulating diastrast is removed by the kidneys in a single circulation. So it can be used to measure renal plasma flow. Next is filtration fraction test. It is the fraction of plasma passing through the kidney which gets filtered at the glomerulus and is obtained by dividing the inulin clearance by PAH clearance. That is the formula. Filtration fraction can be calculated using the formula inulin clearance by PAH clearance, which is equal to 125 by 600. So the normal value of filtration fraction value is 0.21. The normal range of filtration fraction in adult is 0.16 to 0.21. The filtration fraction increases in malignant phase of hypertension, whereas when decrease in RPF is greater than decrease in GFR. This filtration fraction declines progressively in glomerulonephritis due to greater decrease in GFR than RPF. Next way to assess the renal function test is test based on tubular function. It includes concentration test, water dilution test, and phenol sulfosaline test, PSP test, indigo caramine test, and measurement of tubular secretory mass. So in the concentration test, actually what it is done means urine is concentrated by the tubular reabsorption of water. So we have seen that 99% of water in the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed during its passage through different segments of the renal tubules. The concentrating ability of kidneys is determined by measuring the specific gravity of urine, and but in the cases of tubular disease, it remains constant at approximately 1.010 regardless the variation in fluid intake. So this urine concentration tests are conducted either under conditions of restricted water intake, that is water deprivation test, or by inhibiting diuresis using injection of ADH. So these are simple bedside procedures, easy to carry out and extremely important. They are based on the ability of the kidneys to concentrate urine and based on measuring the specific gravity of urine. So that is the main point here. So the specific gravity of urine, normal for normal individual, it will be from 1.003 to 1.030 in response to fluid intake, and normal specific gravity. But in the case of tubular disease, it remains to be 1.010. Whether you take fluid or not, it remains to be a constant. So using this measuring the specific gravity of urine, you can check the tubular function. Next is water dilution test. The ability of the kidney to eliminate water is tested by measuring the urinary output after ingesting a large volume of water. So water is given to the subject and thereafter urine output is measured to assess the diluting ability of the kidneys. This test is not reliable in hot climate due to loss of water through sweating. Urine dilution test is more sensitive than concentration test. Next is phenol sulfophthalate PSP test. Dyes are widely used for the excretion test. An example is PSP test. The test is conducted by measuring the rate of excretion of the dye following intramuscular or intravenous administration. The intravenous test is more valid since it eliminates the uncertainties of absorption which exist in the intramuscular test. It has been shown that the test is reliable and sensitive if the amount of dye excreted in the first 15 minutes is taken as the criteria of renal function. 15-minute PSP test is more reliable. So the principle behind this PSP is it's a harmless dye that can be eliminated by the kidneys. PSP excretion is based on the principle that it is removed from the body by renal tubules and excreted in urine. A 15 minutes PSP test can be done, and a normal subject with healthy kidneys, 30 to 50% of the injected dye gets excreted in urine during the first 15 minutes after the intravenous injection, and PSP is almost completely eliminated within 2 hours. If the urinary excretion of dye is less than 25% in the first 15 minutes, it indicates impaired renal function. That means impaired renal tubular secretion. The advantage of this PSP test is it is easy to perform and takes less time. There is no discomfort to the patient. The dye retention parallels that of urea and creatinine in most of the cases of kidney diseases. Function of each kidney can be determined by this method. The disadvantage is it is less sensitive for early detection of renal function impairment, and PSP excretion is decreased only when more than 50% of renal function test is lost. So this is the disadvantages of this using PSP. And indigo caramine test, here 0.1 gram of the dye is injected intramuscularly. It should be appear in the urine within 6 to 8 minutes. Any delay indicates renal insufficiency. Excretion is usually complete by 12 to 24 hours. This test may indicate which particular kidney is wrong if ureteric catheterate is used. Measurement of tubular secretory mass. This is the effective mass, that is milligram of tubular tissue participating in 1 minute renal excretion. This is estimated from the clearance of PAH or diastrast after its administration in a dose too high to be totally removed from the blood, even the maximum rate of its urinary elimination. Normal human value averages between 50 to 70 milligram per minute for PAH and diastrast clearance. Other miscellaneous tests to assess renal function includes test for renal ability to excrete the acid. This test studies the excretion of acid by the kidneys following stimulation by giving ammonium chloride. Next is intravenous pyelography. When injected intravenously, certain radio-opaque organic compounds of iodine are excreted by the kidneys in sufficient concentrations to cast a shadow of the renal calyces, renal pelvis, ureters and the bladder on an X-ray film, which gives information recording the shape, size and functioning of the kidneys. Indoxyl and diodone 30% are most commonly used substances. This intravenous pyrography is widely used in the investigation of diseases of urinary tract, renal calculi, repeated urinary tract infections, renal hematuria, prostatic enlargement, suspected tumors and congenital abnormalities. Next is radioactive renogram. Iodine 131 labeled heparin is given intravenously and simultaneously, and the radioactivity from each kidney is recorded. In radioactive scanning, it's a helpful method to detect the abnormalities, size, to check whether the size, shape and position of the kidneys are normal or not. For this, this radioactive scanning is helpful. And various kidney function tests and are done to assess the functioning of proper functioning of kidney. The chief function of kidney is to excrete water and metabolic waste from urine. These kidney function tests provides valuable information about the tubular reabsorption and secretion function of kidneys. These diagnostic tests are used for the assessment of kidney functions and its disorders. GFR and renal blood plasma flow provides a useful index of the number of functioning glomeruli, and a renal clearance test and para-aminohipurate PAH test are performed to determine GFR and renal blood flow. So all these are used to assess the proper functioning of kidneys. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned, subscribe Biochemistry DSP and support the channel. Thank you.